This is the Betafpv Air65 II, and it's one of the best tiny whoops that you can buy right now. But there's a problem, because this is also the Air65 II, and so is this. The same drone and 3 different versions: Freestyle, Racing, and Champion. And when I needed a replacement, this is what I was stuck choosing between, but I had no idea which one to get. And from everything I saw online, no one really gave a clear answer either. So I bought all 3, and after flying them properly, one makes more sense than the others depending how you fly. Just a heads up, this is analog footage, so it won't look amazing, and we'll talk about that later in the video. Now, after years of flying my old Tiny Hawk 3, smashing into walls, chewing up grass, and it even got me 2nd place in a tiny whoop race, it finally gave up. And of course, it happened at the worst time, right when I couldn't fly outside. And that's the thing with tiny whoops. You don't really think about them most of the time. You go fly bigger drones, you forget they even exist. But the moment the weather turns, or you can't get out and fly, they're the only thing keeping you in the air. So when the Air65 II launched, they launched with 3 different versions costing around $100 other than the Champion here, which cost $105. And the question I kept on asking myself was, which one do I get and which one would be right for me? And I'm sure you have that question too. Now, the creators that got these on launch pretty much only got the Champion version, so that didn't really help answering the question, and it also doesn't tell us what these 2 were like, and if they were any good, and if they were any better than the Champion version. So there wasn't really a clear answer. The specs didn't really help, even though Betafpv's website does a good job describing what each one does. However, let's take a closer look, because they all look identical. Or do they? Just a heads up, there is a bigger version called the Air65, but we're going to be focusing on the 65 in this video. Now, all 3 share the same 65mm frame, the same flight controller, the same VTX and camera, the same onboard ELRS receiver, and they all run on 1S batteries. So the only differences between these 3 are the motors, the tuning, and the weight. So I flew all 3 in the same environment, both indoor and outdoor, real world flying, and I'm judging this on control, power, fun factor, and usability. Let's start with the Freestyle drone, and in my opinion, this is my favorite and it also flies the best, and it's down to the props. This has way more grip compared to the other 2, and it's very noticeable. The rates are also faster, making it easier for flips and rolls. It's very smooth and predictable, and a lot of beginners would like this drone over the other 2. This is the heaviest drone out of the bunch, and the props also make a difference here because they are 0.14 grams per set heavier than the other 2. And you may be thinking that's nothing, but when you're flying drones this size, it makes a big difference. However, this hasn't impacted the performance of this drone, and it flies amazing. This is great for beginners, indoors, and content. I really enjoyed flying this drone the most. Next up is the racing drone, and this is actually very similar to the Champion, other than a few differences. This tends to be in the middle ground. It has the same rates as the Champion and also the same props. The differences lie between the motor KV being slightly slower and the weight of this being slightly heavier than the Champion version. After flying this several times, I definitely got used to how much faster this was than the Freestyle drone. And even though this can do flips and rolls, this is tuned for racing, and you can definitely feel that, especially in the turns with the snappier motors. If you are planning on racing, you want the slower rates because it does help. And when you have a big underground parking lot, it really does show its speed. However, in a tighter space like a room, you're going to have some trouble because this thing is quite fast. And finally, we have the Champion version, and supposedly top dog because of that extra $5 price tag difference. This is way snappier, especially in the yaw and back-to-back turns. And this is likely due to the higher kV motors. These motors are also dual ball bearing compared to the other two, which are brushed. And that means this has lower friction at higher RPM, it's more consistent performance, better efficiency under load, and a longer lifespan. This is also the lightest of the three at 16 grams, and that 1 gram difference between the other two is definitely noticeable, especially outdoors. This also does not use plug and play motors like the other two. They are soldered directly to the board. So Betafpv was serious with the weight saving on this. And even though this shares the same 65mm frame, there are slight differences with this one, especially not having the triangle plastic at the front and rear, and also the ducts missing an extra prong. The downsides for this drone is the shorter flight time and it is harder indoors. And this feels really aggressive and twitchy. So here are 2 key insights that I picked up after flying all 3, and there's 2 types of fast. The Freestyle version has the faster rates. However, it feels a lot more comfortable, especially for beginners, because it has so much grip because of those props. The Racing and the Champion version are slower rates. However, because they have faster motor kV, they are a lot quicker in terms of top speed. More power doesn't mean it's better. So in indoors, it could be too much power is harder to enjoy. And this is where most people will prefer the Freestyle version over the other two. Now, the claimed flight time for these 3 drones are around 4 minutes 30 seconds to 5 minutes. However, from my results flying these back to back in the real world, I was getting around 3 to 4 minutes average, probably closer to 3 minutes 30 seconds. I also tested the Champion with the Freestyle props to see how it would handle. However, this negatively impacted the flight time, getting around 2 to 3 minutes. But later on in the video, I'll talk about how you can have extended runtime to be able to fly these drones back to back. Now, if you're new, you're probably wondering how durable are these drones, because they look pretty flimsy. And you're wondering, if you smash into something hard, is it going to break and you're going to have to replace straight away? If you already have one, you might have mixed feelings. However, from my experience flying these back to back and having my fair share of crashes and spins, there has been no major damage whatsoever. There's been some slight scuffs and battle scars, but this hasn't impacted flight performance whatsoever. So I give that a thumbs up in terms of durability. So if you're picking one up to fly indoors inside your house and you accidentally hit your mum's favorite vase, the drone's likely just going to ping off, fall on the floor, you flip it over and you carry on flying. Now, out the box, I did find the viewing angle a little too steep for each of these 3 drones. And this was at the second last point on the adjustment. So I just unscrewed it and put it to the very last point, and this makes it a lot easier. So if you're a beginner, this is something you're going to want to do, especially for more control and lower speed indoors. But something important to note here is that these are analog drones, and the image quality is not going to be near as good as a digital system like DJI, but that's why they are so cheap. Now, when flying these, I was using my Transporter 2s from Emax, and this is the one that came with my old Tiny Hawk 3 kit. I did want to replace this with a newer set of goggles. However, the slim versions or any good ones were really expensive, coming around $400 to $500 and it didn't justify the cost whatsoever. So if you are thinking about picking up these drones, I would suggest going with Betafpv's analog goggles, which is way much cheaper. Even though they are box goggles, they will do the job just fine. Now, as you've seen throughout this video, you're probably wondering why the image quality is that bad, especially on the recording, and that's just down to the DVR recording itself, because when showing you the B-roll recorded from the iPhone, that's not how it's seen when I'm flown. I don't know if this is just too much interference from where I was, but hey, I want to test out with a newer set of goggles to see if this recording will improve. However, what I did notice though is that these actual cameras have very good low light performance, especially compared to my Action 5, which is really impressive. They do have a weaker dynamic range, so if there's a huge contrast with light and shadows, it's definitely noticeable, but again, it's not something of a huge concern. Overall, the connection was solid and I had no issues, especially flying at the rear of the underground power park, even though there was some interference that could affect the DVR recording, but I had no signal dropouts for video or ELRS at all. For the money you pay, these are solid drones. So if you decide to pick one up, what do you get inside the box? Well, you get the drone itself, a set of spare props, a spare canopy, a USB-C adapter with the 5-pin cable, some hardware, and well, that's pretty much it. Now the batteries to pair these with would be the Lava 2 1S batteries, and I got both the 280 and 320 milliamp hours. These are high voltage batteries with the BT 2.0 connector. And the pros with these newer versions is that the performance is actually really good. However, the cons here that I've noticed, especially after crashing multiple times, is that the tips do tend to bend very, very slightly, and you will only notice this when you try to reload the drone with a fresh battery. It might not fit through comfortably because there's a slight kink in the battery. So just go easy, especially if you crash. There is a small difference between size and weight between these two batteries. The 280s weigh 6.8 grams and the 320s weigh 8.2 grams. I did find that the Champion did fly better with the heavier battery, but it does get blown around a bit, especially if you're flying outdoors. Now, as promised, for extended flight time with these drones you can fly back to back, I suggest to pick up a 1S charger. This is the one I have from Betafpv. They're really easy to use, and if you want to see a quick guide on how to use it as a short, let me know in the comments. Also pick up a power bank, especially one that has power delivery, that you can use a USB-C to USB-C cable. And that way you can fly continually. And this is what I was doing during my testing in the underground parking lot. It was super easy to use, and the size of this power bank will probably give you around 2 to 3 hours of flying, charging non-stop. This is fantastic setup. I highly recommend. I'll leave links to these in the description box down below. So after flying all three, the Air65 II Freestyle version is going to be the one that replaces my Emax Tiny Hawk 3. It's smoother, more predictable, and I really enjoy how it flies, especially with the added grip. And if you're new to FPV and thinking about getting your first tiny whoop, this is the one I highly recommend out of the three. The others have a purpose, but this one was just way easier to control. And it also solves the problem when I couldn't fly outside. Now, if you're thinking about picking up your first radio, then check out this video right here. Otherwise, YouTube recommends this video. I'll see you in the next one.